Nick Cannon admits he needs help after being diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
There's something about this announcement that doesn't seem all that surprising to me. Maybe you may disagree, man. Let me know. But I'm reading this headline in news, and it's not really that surprising. The thought that immediately came to my mind, though, are all the people who are in Nick Cannon's position. I'm not talking about financially, because this is a lot worse, right? I'm talking about lack of resources. You're in turmoil when it comes to just your life in general. You talk to these people and they're still making kids. These are the single mothers with multiple baby daddies, and also the pookies who are out here spreading their seeds all over like they're getting paid to do it. Those people, when you communicate with them and say, hey, why would you do that? And you bring up the facts and say why that's a bad idea. You're destroying your life. You're ruining yourself. They look like a deer in headlights. It's almost like they don't register what it is exactly you're saying. But after reading this, I'm thinking to myself, maybe they do actually hear you, right? Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they think that in some narcissistic way, and I'm careful. I've never gone around labeling people as narcissists because I think the term is usually overused. You have a chick out there that doesn't like you, she's probably calling you a narcissist, right? But follow me here for a second. Those people, what if they do understand and they just don't care? What if they actually are? Because I tend to believe Nick Cannon because he's making a statement himself. What if those people right there actually just get some type of sick satisfaction from believing that the world needs more of them? Crazy to think about it if you drink coffee, but that came to mind for sure. But overall, this viral news that seems to be a topic right now isn't really that surprising to me. You may disagree, comment down below.
No one is shocked that Nick Cannon is a narcissist. Like, this news came out like over the holiday that he was diagnosed by like a mental health clinician, I'm guessing. I'm like, boy, you created 6 broken homes and have like 12 children, 6 women, like 12 children, 6 broken homes. We are not shocked that you're a narcissist. I'm glad that you are admitting it. You are saying that, hey, that's who I am. Now, anyone who gets involved with you after that, then that's their business. But no one is shocked, my boy.
So I liked a few of these comments right here because, again, it's real easy to call a man narcissist seems to slip off the tongue really easy. But let's not forget, right? There are a few comments right here that said, before you all blame it on him, Nick Cannon, having 12 kids, remember, those women chose to also. So there's a mutual agreement here to set their life up this way, which is the other part of the conversation when it strictly comes to Nick Cannon. Now, F it, all these chicks, right? All the people out here who are okay with creating a plethora of broken homes. There's a mutual discussion, but when this topic is usually discussed, it's always packaged in like victimhood of a woman who's being manipulated by this bad big rich man, and they can't say no because what he's offering is just way too tempting, right? Another comment here from a woman says, as a therapist, most narcissists don't even seek help because they think there's nothing wrong with them. So if he actually was diagnosed and is choosing to seek help, that's actually pretty shocking and rare. So good for him. Therapists. As somebody who does believe in therapy, I believe in it, but I believe especially men should approach therapy with extreme caution. Because not everybody who claims to be a therapist, this is not just for this chick, I don't know who she is. I just mean when I now hear the word therapist, it doesn't really mean anything to me until I hear more about how you view the world and how that translates to how you're able to use that information to apply to your life so that we know you're not completely out of your mind. Like, we've seen a lot of therapists out here who really sound crazy. Somebody else here says, there is no cure for narcissistic personality disorder. Any emotion they show is rehearsed emotion they believe they should be showing moment to moment. Even him acknowledging he needs help is a part of the narcissistic personality disorder. They're extremely, extremely intelligent people, and reading the room is their superpower. Knowing how to get sympathy, love, attention, and change narratives is also their superpower. It doesn't necessarily mean they are a bad person in quotation mark. It just means everything they do and every emotion they pretend to have is calculated. Do I believe in that? I don't know. They can be mindful of their disorder, but there's no cure for it. And any person that deals with them will have to always be mindful of the level of subconscious manipulation narcissists will go to get what they want.
Nick Cannon admits he needs help after being diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And of course, if you're new here, I'm diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I did a video on this over there on my other channel about Nick Cannon really a narcissist. I said this on my channel a couple weeks ago on the 14th of November. He admitted it on his own podcast to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Because I've been in psychotherapy dealing with narcissistic personality disorder for over 7 years now, I might know a little smidge of things, right? From the article in the Daily Mail, he said he always suspected he might have undiagnosed mental health conditions, right? I still don't understand it all the way, but I kind of always wanted to get tested for it. For me, in my own personal story, I've always known that I was different since I was like 8 or 9 years old. Since I was a kid, I always knew that my emotions didn't click, that the way I felt about others didn't click, that just overall, I felt like an alien in a human body, right? No matter how big a crowd I was in, I always felt like all eyes were on me. This can be part of the paranoia that comes along with it, right? He said, I feel like there's many labels out there, but it's like to be able to embrace it and say, look, I'm healing. I need help. Show me. I just embraced the mental health and therapy in such a strong way. Like I said, I've been in therapy for over 7 years dealing with this, right? I started therapy in October 2017. This is the very first email that I sent to my therapist. So I still see to this day over in Greensboro, North Carolina. Hi, I just wanted to see about possible counseling. I'm 99.5% certain that I have narcissistic personality disorder. And since becoming aware of it, it's been almost unbearable. The constant inner battle every day is tiresome and exhausting. That's 7 years ago, right? So I've been in therapy with the same therapist for 7 years dealing with this, battling with the lack of empathy, battling with the delusions of grandeur, all while trying to like run businesses and be a parent and be a husband and things like that. It's wild. This is kind of my goal as well. He said to be able to say I'm an example for others, but also willing to healing doing the self process works too. Like you really, really can. Like if you decide to go to therapy, put the work in. You can be a better person. You can have a damn near fully functional life. I'm not saying all your relationships will be healthy, but putting in the work in, listening to your therapist, finding a therapist that you can trust. Like I trust my therapist. Like if you go to therapy and you have a therapist that you can't trust, you're not going to get any work done, right? You're not going to make the progress that you want to make, that you're trying to make, right? You're not going to be able to do that because you don't trust them. If you don't trust them, it's hard to open up to people that you don't trust, right? Finding a therapist or clinician or somebody else, a life coach, somebody that you can trust to open up to reveal your inner workings, the inner workings of your mind, to reveal your deepest, darkest insecurities or your secrets or whatever is so important on the healing growth journey from narcissistic personality disorder or any other personality disorder, just in general, right? So the causes of narcissistic personality disorder are currently unknown, though childhood factors are theorized to play a role in developing the condition. Unhealthy relationships with parents are thought to play a role. Just that could be part of it right there, y'all. So for me, my father, he was in my life, but he was just emotionally neglectful, right? He just wasn't the type of parent that was going to validate your emotions or your feelings or be there when you needed them. So it was a lot of childhood neglect. My mom worked. She worked to take care of her kids and things like that. So no, but dad was who I had the issues with, right? What helped me work through those issues with my father, even though I don't talk to him a lot, is because like I had to understand, try to find out why he is the way that he is, what made him neglectful, what made him the way that he is, right? Because I don't talk to him, I had to embark on this kind of like journey on my own. So I got on Ancestry.com. While on Ancestry.com, I found his father's, my paternal grandfather's death certificate, right? So I didn't know my grandfather. Apparently I had known that he had died when my dad was younger. But you look at the cause of death, it says gunshot wound of a small caliber to here. So That's on a Monday morning, 5:30 in the morning, he went and unalived himself. And guess what happened? I'm figuring that my dad found him, right? And that
Whoa.
traumatized him as a little 7, 8, 9-year-old boy in the 70s, 1974, March 3rd, 1974 to be exact. And there's really no therapy for no little black boys back in the day like that. So your father unalives himself, go to school. You might have unalived himself on a Monday. You in school on a Wednesday or Thursday, trying to make ends, just trying to make sense of everything. No therapy, just talk to the guidance counselor, I reckon, right? And that made him who he was. He grew up with that burden, that trauma, and it made him who he is to this day, right? No, I don't have any animosity towards him. I just understand where he came from, and it helped me release a lot of the anger that I have for him, which has helped me on my healing journey so much. Also, in that Daily Mail article, you see it often occurs in concert with other mental health conditions, most commonly including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and other things like that right here, y'all. I have narcissistic personality disorder, depression, and anxiety. So I don't have the rest of them, but I have those two as well. So it's just, it seems like it always has a partner with it. It doesn't come by itself. This is a mini quest right here, but like he said, he said he was at this Thanksgiving food event. He was there with Tom Sandoval. I did a video on old Tom last year in April. It's Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, a narcissist. I'm not saying the Tom's a narcissist, but it was some markers going on there. Just a little mini quest right there. I'm not saying he's just hanging around. I was just like, Tom, Tommy boy. You know what I mean?
Just to be clear, me saying that I'm not surprised about the announcement doesn't mean that I don't think that Nick Cannon should get help. As you guys know, even though I don't think therapy is for every single person and everybody needs it, right? I don't take that extreme approach to therapy. I do think it does help. And, we have resources for that in Brew Brothers. There's a whole guide on how to go out and seek a therapist and find a therapist, and pretty much explains the steps towards that. But there's another conversation here that I think needs to be had when it comes to the people who just do not care. And they're out here doing the exact same thing, creating broken homes. And it's almost worse for the majority of people doing that, because the majority of people doing that don't even have the resources to at least financially compensate in that area, because there's so much more that's needed for a child to properly develop, right? It's almost like maybe there might be recreation of problems, hopefully not, within those kids.
Nick Cannon has been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, let me tell you something right now. Most men with multiple baby mamas and women with multiple baby daddies are narcissistic. Somebody in your family is probably a narcissist right now, and they don't know because they don't go to therapy. And, it requires a medical diagnosis. It is not normal to have 12 kids with multiple women. Pretty much all of those women were his new supply at one point. He did not ever love most of these women. He got bored, moved on to somebody new, and when that got bored, he moved on to somebody new, and when that got bored, he moved on to somebody new. Narcissists don't feel, they lack empathy. You understand what I'm saying? So if you cry in front of this man, it's like, what are you crying for? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then can you imagine being with a narcissist and they are undiagnosed? Imagine being in love. Better yet, imagine having a child with a narcissist. Oh my God.
There are men right now, and I'm not talking about the narcissist men. There are men right now who slipped up. Gentlemen, listen up. Who slipped up and got one of these undiagnosed chicks pregnant. You think you gave your seed to the devil. You're like, yo, what? And I know she's saying, imagine having Nick Cannon. That's probably the better situation. Especially now that he's putting his business out there. And these women can now rest on that in court battles, which most likely will come when it comes to the children, when it comes to child support, so on and so forth. I don't wish that on him, but this is life we're talking about here. But imagine the pain of not being careful as a man, not having sexual discipline, getting a chick who happens to be in this same category, pregnant, she has your kid, and now you care about that child. You want to be in that person, that child's life. That was a mistake that you're now paying the consequences for. and she's putting you through hell. I encourage you. I encourage you. I encourage you. It is not worth it. Protect yourself. Protect your seed out here, gentlemen. Protect your seed out here. You do not want to be tied to a vicious woman who has no feelings, right? Find yourself a good woman. Listen, as always, I'm very curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you all for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. And of course, fathershaverights.com to get legal information for men who are soon to be married. Join Brew Brothers if you want a brotherhood of men who value marriage. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.